So this thing sounds great. What did you do to make it sound this great?
With this car, basically, I didn't want to take away from the factory components of the car, or changing the radio or anything like that. So what I did was I left the factory Lexicon system that was in here.
Right.
All the controls, all the head unit and everything, and the OEM Lexicon amplifier still in the car.
Right.
What I did was use an audio control piece, an LC6, and what that does is basically brings a high level, cleans it up, and then turns it to a low level output. And I'm going into Genesis amplifiers.
Okay.
And then out of the Genesis amplifiers, of course, goes into the Morel speakers, which were in the doors, and the two Morel 12-inch subwoofers, which were in our trunk.
That's great.
Gives it a very good sound.
So did you come into any problems with integrating the PC into the car, or did you just use straight 1/8 to RCA and then go right into the amp from there?
It's basically, it's just a regular RCA coming out, 1/8 to RCA going out. And what I did was, the way Hyundai designed this is they have a USB port, and then on the side of it they have an 1/8-inch mini jack. That's where the audio comes in. When I first looked at it, I thought it was just basically take an Apple, USB, plug it in and go, and it definitely wasn't like that. And nobody really had info on the car when I first got it, because I got the car in July, and this was the 4th one into the country, so nobody had any info on the car whatsoever. So it's kind of like, all right, let's figure out what we were doing here, and then that was basically it. And then I figured out that actually you needed to actually use the Hyundai cable that they provide. You have to get it from the dealer, aftermarket, from the dealer. I put it in there, and what I did was I took the USB, goes straight in. I actually took the one that's apart in the console.
Okay.
I took it out, dropped it out to the bottom, so it's actually stored somewhere else on the bottom of the car, in the console. The USB is going right into there, and I put a switcher onto the 1/8-inch mini jack. So this way, we're able to play the mini Mac that's inside the car,
right,
through the audio system.
Right.
You can play the DVD player, which is overhead, through the audio system, or you can use the iPod, with the factory head unit. Or if you want to have some kind of tailgating party or something, you can have the audio from the actual Mac that's in the trunk play through the whole car and through the back.
That's great.
Mini set up in the trunk. Kind of, I was like, all right, something with that. But I wanted to make it to where it was clean and feeling as possible. And still be able to, I needed to figure out somewhere where we needed the keyboard and the mouse to be able to use the actual computer.
Right.
So we had about 10,000 ideas, like stuff motorizing out of here and everything, and I was like, no, it doesn't work. So we needed something very clean. So we came up with this idea where basically, just have a motorized shelf that comes out. Basically a one-touch button. The storage for the keyboard is basically right here. Storage for the mouse is right here. Underneath we have a button. Hit it once, the one-touch button. Goes back away. Close the trunk, drive on your way. Right next to it, on the right of it, there's another momentary button, and that turns on the computer, the screen, and all the rest of the components in the car.
Right.
And then also being that it is a show car, we also need to do, the audio part of it. So I called up Morel and asked him, for some subwoofers and the Genesis amplifiers. They're strictly for Genesis. Genesis amplifiers are a handcrafted amplifier out of England. Actually handmade. Pretty rare these days.
Right.
So we use those, and I wanted something that actually kind of flowed with the car also, being that the Genesis name. This car, you gotta use this, but they are stuff that I use on a daily basis, all the time.
Right.
It actually worked out well, but basically I didn't want, I want that clean, just very subtle trunk, not like stuff popping out all over.
Right.
I want the car to feel the designers of the car as, also the people of, that would actually look and be like, kind of the clientele that they're looking to get. The guy Lexus or something like that, so somebody that wouldn't be insulted by the car, like, you put fiberglass this and fiberglass that. So everything was wrapped in leather, the brown leather, and then also the black leather.
Right.
Just a rubberized timing.
Cool. So can we see any of the guts?
Sure.
All right.
No problem. Right?
Let's do it.
Good. Basically, like the inside, everything is pressure fit.
Yeah.
Everything's so tight. Tolerances are so tight, so we don't have to worry about screwing everything down. Panel slides right out, and then that's the controls for everything, basically.
Right.
Factory the OEM battery still in the same place. Nothing was really, we actually jumped out of that and went to our own battery, which resides underneath the amplifier rack.
out of our battery, that's what basically runs all the aftermarket system. The only thing that's really tagged in this car, like wire-wise or cut, is the cigarette lighter. I jumped off the cigarette lighter to grab ignition. It comes back here, goes into a relay, and then it feeds everything else in the car. So it's kind of isolated from the rest of the car. You know, I'm not like grabbing power and cutting all these wires inside the car. So basically, the only thing that's really cut is that one wire, and then the wires that come out of the factory amplifier, which resides in this factory OEM place, and all the wires just come from underneath. All tucked underneath. You have all the crossovers, all against the back wall for the speakers, and then it comes into the LCAs, which is on the side. And then all the inverters are right on the back wall, right on the floor in the back, all on the steel chassis on the bottom. All right, great. Thank you. No problem.
Shout from the other side.
Sure.
Do you have any questions? Anything I might be not covering? There's a ton of space in here.
Yeah, it's definitely had a lot of room.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, you lose the spare, but
I need a spare.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
Joke
people
on.
ask for.
Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time.